Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Fumble Live. If you're not subscribed to our channel yet, make sure you do that now. Tap the bell for notifications. Give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Here's the Fumble Squad. I'm Devin Howard. You can find me on Instagram as @DevinHoward. Chris.
It's your boy Chris. You can find me everywhere at CK2K.
Morning, everybody. It's Jackie Ray. You can find me everywhere, J-Ray the Fanatic.
What's up, Clipper Nation? It's your girl, Britt Johnson. You guys can follow me on all social media at I am Britt Johnson. I do want to say before we get started, I know my Clippers will probably lose today because we have 3 people out. I just hope we don't get one out. So good luck, Lakers, because...
Is she out here like speaking?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Cancel all of that. Cancel it all. No.
Will, Patrick Beverly, and Trez are all going to be out today. So if you guys don't blow us out of the water, like there's something wrong with the Lakers.
Look, the Lakers
still out here playing. She's looking for a jab. That's. Oh God! I'm not entertaining these shenanigans. We're not doing it.
Being back, guys.
See, that's why she blurry, Devin. Don't even worry about it. That's why she blurry.
This is the day that we've all been waiting for. I know we're so excited about this. We have coming up today, we've got Jazz versus Pelicans at 3:30 p.m., Lakers versus Clippers, like Britt said. So excited about that. So let us know if you're going to be tuning in. Who do you think is going to win in each of these matchups? Fill us in the chat. Very exciting news. But for now, you guys, let's just get into the sports news that we have to talk about for today. So Iggy, Andre Iguodala, got himself into a little bit of hot water. So he tweeted about the Washington Mystics and Connecticut Sun game on Tuesday. And he posted about Ariel Powers, who scored a career-high 27 points in a 94-89 win. It really would have been nice if his tweet praised her skill on the basketball court or congratulated her on a great win, but instead he tweeted, "Number 23 from the Mystics is nice." So obviously WNBA stars already don't get the recognition that they deserve. They don't get the same media coverage as NBA players. They don't have the same fan love. They're largely dismissed, I feel like. So for Iggy to just refer to her by her number rather than take an extra 10 seconds just to Google, like, number 20 Mystics name, was something that a lot of people found to be pretty disrespectful. Luckily, she caught wind of the tweet and she decided to respond. She wrote, "Put some respect on my name or keep this tweet to yourself." And then instead of coming forward and like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I should have just Googled your name. I didn't know." He wrote back and said, "No manners." So I feel like this is one of the many frustrating things that women have to face. Like, we're supposed to just be grateful for any compliment, even if we find that it's like a little bit rude or slightly insulting or a little bit dismissive, which obviously Ariel did. Plus, I feel like proper recognition by other basketball players is important for the NBA. These female athletes, like I mentioned before, are dismissed by the basketball audience fairly often, and I feel like NBA players should be uplifting them rather than kind of brushing them off. She also decided to call out Iggy one last time and tweeted, "We deal with disrespect on the daily, so for someone like you, Andre, to tweet that off the same device you could have looked me up on is unacceptable. Mind you, the commentator said my name. Would it have been the same if I was a guy? Look at the pic. I didn't forget. I said what I said." So with that tweet, she included a screenshot from a TMZ article from 2016, as you guys can see here with the headline that says, "NBA star Andre Iguodala said, 'I don't want my daughter playing basketball and becoming a lesbian.'" So that comment came about when he was in like a court battle for child support payments with his baby mama, and he later clarified what he said. He said he doesn't want his daughter to have any struggles that other lesbian WNBA players have had, but if his daughter did want to play basketball, he would coach her. So I just wanted to mention that there just in case anyone wanted to bring that up again. But Britt, I want to go to you first. Do you feel people are overreacting to Iggy's tweet, or should he have known better?
At first, I thought it was just it's his name. Like, okay, get it, number 24, and people kind of just say the number, even though they know it's Kobe Bryant that's number 24. So originally, when I first saw it, I kind of just thought it was like that. I didn't really think it was that big of a deal. But obviously, when she said, "Hey, here's my name," and I get being a female athlete, a lot of these women, people don't know their names and don't whatever. So it could have seemed like it'd been like, oh, why didn't you just look me up or whatever? So I think the way he responded back to how she felt was not correct. And again, I'm a big person to say it's not your intent, it's your impact. So he could have not intended to say that rude and just been like, okay, I see you number 5 or whatever. Like, and I've gone to plenty of basketball games where people do that knowing who number 5 is. They just like kind of say that, you know, and I was completely with it on that kind of thing. But then you have to impact it was to her. And so at that point, once she was impacted differently than your intent was, then you come to a point where you need to apologize and say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't that. I was just like showing you love, blah, blah, blah. Like I definitely could have looked up your name. So I think he handled it wrong with like the no manners thing after that. But I don't was his intent to be disrespectful in that moment, because just being around basketball a lot, I feel like that's just a natural saying that I've heard plenty of times before.
Yeah, players have obviously become synonymous with their jersey numbers, and I could see why she would feel it's dismissive, but then of course that no manners tweet, that for me was like, come on, like that's not the right, you know that's not going to be the right response to this situation.
Right.
Jackie, how do you feel about Ariel's reaction and the fact that she brought up that 2016 comment that he made about lesbianism and WNBA stars? Do you feel like that was justified?
I thought this whole thing was petty, to be honest. I thought, you know, the fact that she has number 23 on, when I saw it, I was like, okay, you know, we know what that number is synonymous with. We know Jordan made it famous. We know LeBron James wears it. She's wearing it too. So number 23 is nice. That's what I thought. And then when he came back with the no manners thing, I was like, I took it as him saying, okay, damn, maybe I have no manners. And then for her to still be on this petty train is like, let me dig this up when you said you don't even want. I thought it was extra, but I mean, I get it. You know, she's in her feelings. I thought it was dope that he was even watching it. I know that sounds bad, but the WNBA doesn't get the views that it needs to sustain itself on its own. You know what I mean? So the fact that he was watching it and tweeted out her name at all, I thought that was dope. But then you're going to just take that moment of his recognition and say, oh, remember this time TMZ had you all in the headlines for some stuff that you said that was inappropriate? I thought it was extra. But like Britt said, you know, sometimes intent doesn't, you know, coincide with your impact. So if that's how she felt, that's how she felt. But I think they both could have handled it differently. I thought the initial tweet was fine. She could have at least just said, she could have just hashtagged her name, you know what I mean? And then he could have been like, ooh, my bad, you know. But no, I think they both could have handled it differently. This was extra petty to me.
I see what I thought. I didn't think that he had bad intent either, but I think he was just being lazy about it. I don't know. I feel like he was like,
half the people is lazy. When I watch UFC, I know their last name, and the only reason I know their last name is because it's on the screen. Other than that, it's guy in the gray shorts, guy in the blue shorts. You know what I mean? So it's like that. Shorts, you know? Right, exactly. That's how I, you know. And if you're not like just completely immersed in that sport where you know everybody's name, that's how we all refer to people. We all lazy. Let's not just put this on Iggy. We all like that.
Yeah. Trust me, I've been lazy like that before too. So I just he was just going into it like, 23, you know, instead of just actually looking it up. But Chris, going to you for my final question. So many NBA players have been showing their support for the WNBA, especially recently. Should Iggy have known that this tweet would come off as tone deaf?
That's the thing. I don't know, and all of it is just it's all by, I guess, how you perceive what you see with the tweets. You know what I mean? Because it could mean one thing and it wasn't meant to be that way. Because people read it as disrespect and laziness. But like Britt, I saw it because I'm one of those guys. I never called my little brother by his name when I went to all his high school games. I always called him number 6. I always call him number 0. I'm like, okay, 6, okay. So I've always been that guy. I do that with my NBA team now. If RJ Barrett is playing great, I call him number 9 because I'm like, that's not RJ. That's number 9 out there. That's just how I am. So I didn't see it as that, but I can see how people would see it that way. And just like Jackie said with the manners thing, like he could have said it differently, but it could have also been like he was talking to himself. But I could also see how he receive it as him saying it to her like, okay, manners kind of thing. But again, it's up to him to put it out the right way so it's not perceived that way. So I just feel like it's just one of those situations where just like the old school thing where, call rather than text, because text could be read one way when it's not meant to be that way. And I feel like that's what this entire conversation turned into. And so I mean, in hindsight, sure, it probably would have made more sense because of the support that a lot of these players have been giving for WNBA. Probably would have made more sense for him to just look up the name real quick, put the name out on there. But in the moment, in seeing it, I didn't take it as disrespect because, again, I'm a number caller myself, so I didn't see it as that. But again, that's everybody's seeing it the way they see it.
Here's my thing, and I think I see where you guys are coming from, but I also feel a little bit differently. Since it's coming from another pro athlete, for fans to say number 23, number 9, whatever, I feel like that makes a little bit more sense. But I'm wondering if the tables were turned and a WNBA player tweeted about Iggy and said, number 28 is pretty good. Wouldn't he have been a little annoyed about that, or do you guys not think so?
The players say
I call him
that.
sensitive.
The players say that to each other. They say, I see you 23. Like they say, that's how they talk to each other on the floor. Like that's.
We would be here clowning. We would be here on this panel clowning Andre Iguodala if we saw it vice versa, because we would be. It would be sensitive. It would be very sensitive for him. Because like we said, it's just a common thing.
That's normal. That's normal talk on a court.
I think we would be killing Iggy for that for sure if he was upset about that.
And then when you think about it like that, that's why I thought this whole thing was petty, because if it was vice versa, we'd be calling Iggy soft. But now we're talking about the WNBA and we're not calling her soft. Like, why not? But okay, I get it.
I think I see her perspective a little bit more. But let's get into the next news story. This is all about Pat Mahomes. He might be feeling a little petty too, or the NFL Network might be kind of petty. So they released their top 100 players list, and they put Pat Mahomes at number 4 for the second consecutive season, and he posted the notepad writing, this emoji as it seems like he's taking notes. So I feel like he's not going to be forgetting about this anytime soon. So people are obviously surprised by his number 4 ranking. It's determined by player voting, and he comes in behind Lamar Jackson and Russell Wilson and Aaron Donald. So he dealt with injuries early last season that caused his overall stats to drop. And people were reacting on Twitter, writing things like, no player in the NFL is better than Patrick Mahomes. And then this one says, what?
Lies. That lies.
All right, let me get these tweets out, and then I'll get your guys' reaction. Okay, what guys are better at football than Patrick Mahomes? I'm at a loss. And the rest of the NFL just gave Patrick and the Chiefs even more reason to run it back. So disrespected by the rest of the league. Anyone who didn't vote Mahomes as the number 1 player in the NFL is just wrong. So people are really, really upset about it. And I knew that I would get great reactions from you guys on that. So, Britt, I'm going to you first. Is Pat's ranking accurate in your opinion? Why or why not?
Yes, because now it's not about opinion. It is the players. The players vote on who they think are the best players in the league. This is the only list that really matters. Forget the Madden ratings. Forget any ESPN ratings. This is the rating that matters because it is voted on by the peers. And like even in this moment, I felt like Christian McCaffrey obviously got higher than Derrick Henry in this voting. And that is accurate because as a whole player, Christian McCaffrey is better than Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's a better running back, but when you're talking about 1,000 receiving yards as well, he's a better player, so he's ranked higher. Same with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson can run over 1,000 yards per season, and Patrick Mahomes cannot. So that is why Lamar Jackson is rated higher because he is scarier to the rest of the players in the league, and I think that's important. Like Donald is scarier to players to go up against, and he was the NFL MVP for the season, for a reason. People are scared of people are not scared of Patrick Mahomes, unfortunately.
Yes, that is it.
They can still defend him. They can still do all of this stuff. So this list was the accurate thing I had seen in a long time. Obviously, when you get to the lower numbers of like anything past 20, there's some that's like, a couple I could have been a couple spots higher, but this top 10 was the perfect top 10. It was on point, it was accurate, and it's voted on by the players, and they know more than anybody else. So all the fans, all the media people can just shut this moment because the players said what they said.
Yes.
Okay. So Jackie, then I obviously you agree with Britt, but my question for you is the outrage over Pat's number 4 spot justified at all?
Not even a little bit. Britt said, you saw me nodding my head like a bobblehead the whole time because like she just kind of nails it. This list is exactly right because this is the one that the players have to wake up in the morning, look at their schedule and go, damn. You know what I mean? That's the thought. That's what made this list. And Patrick Mahomes, he shouldn't have tweeted anything. He got a paycheck that says he can say whatever he wants. You know what I mean? Shut up. But this list is 100% accurate. But as far as fans go, you know how that goes. You know what I mean? You're always going to go with your favorite. Nobody who's mad right now is not a KC fan. It's only KC fans that are mad right now. Everybody who watches the totality of football, who doesn't have a dog in the race and just likes football in general, they looking at this list and be like, now where's Madden at? Can y'all copy this list? That's what's really going on. So this list is exactly right. It was exactly how it's supposed to be. And like Britt said, I just love that the players were honest about it. I love this list.
Yeah. Well, Jackie, so you brought up the contract that he just signed. So, Chris, that kind of leads me into my question for you. I know Pat tweeted the little note emoji. I don't even know what to call it. Notepad emojis showing that he might care about it. But do you think he really cares about this ranking? Do you think it really matters when he does have this giant contract? He, is the reigning MVP. Does he care, really?
Honestly, look, I think he watched The Last Dance the same way the rest of us did. So he might be trying to get his Michael Jordan on and taking any excuse to have some kind of motivation for next season. Because look, he just won the whole thing. All right. Obviously, he's going to try to, repeat and blah, blah, blah. But now that he's ranked 4th, and in his mind, and like Jackie said, in Kansas City's mind, that he's not supposed to be 4th. He is the best player in the league. So now, he's probably just taking note to that. And now he's going to give himself some sort of motivation to have a great year next year. That's how I saw it. So I had no problem with Patrick Mahomes saying this. And with the contract also, I genuinely do believe that he probably is taking it serious because of the same fact we just mentioned. This is by his peers, and he is seeing that his peers, even though he's getting praise from everywhere else. He got all these tweets that are defending Patrick Mahomes, but yet his peers don't believe that he's the scariest man in the league. Yeah, I think he's going to feel some type of way about that. So I do believe that when his tweet was valid to that. But I'm just also surprised that he wasn't voted 1. I'm glad he wasn't. I think, like Britt said, this top 10 was perfect for me. I was surprised. I genuinely thought that they were going to automatically put him at number 1 because Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. So I was surprised and happily surprised to see that he wasn't. But yeah, I think Patrick Mahomes is really taking it serious, and I think he's going to use that as some kind of motivation to have a better year next year for sure.
That contract should be motivation enough.
It should be. You're not wrong. You are not wrong.
$500 million.
Yeah. You don't want to give your team buyer's remorse. Is that not what else you looking for right now?
Buyer's remorse. Okay, you guys, go into the final need to know news story. Let's get this one out of the way quickly. So obviously after Rudy Gobert received a positive test result for COVID-19, the NBA shut down mid-season, and he was on the receiving end of heavy criticism and backlash because of the video of him touching all microphones. And now he's speaking out about that backlash. He said, quote, "The media portrayed it like I caused the NBA to shut down instead of saying that it's a pandemic and Rudy Gobert tested positive." He added that people in the U.S. tend to be headline readers, which we've talked about on our show, and Rudy felt that the news articles and videos about him contracting the virus were really biased. He said, quote, "For a lot of people who don't think further than what's put in their faces, they really thought I brought the coronavirus to the United States." And he added that he's learned a lot from this, and he realized that he needs to put himself in other people's shoes. The negativity he received reminded him that he needs to go deeper. He said, we all have the tendency to judge people without knowing them. You watch us play basketball every day, but you don't know who we are, what we've been through, what we're going through. Get to know people, go deeper. You can spread a lot of positive messages on social media, but you can also spread hate and judgment. You've got a choice, which I think was actually a profound statement from him. So, Jackie, going to you for this one, is it helping Rudy's case for him to rehash this whole ordeal again, or should we stop talking about it?
I mean, we're not stopping talking about coronavirus, and every time you see an article, you'll see that, the NBA shut down on March 11th because of Rudy Gobert. So everybody else is still talking about it, so he should talk about it too. But man, check the receipts. This is check the receipt week, because I said this very thing. I said, we actually don't know. It could have, because we don't know how this virus is spread, it could have been Donovan Mitchell that gave it to him. We don't know who patient zero is in this situation. We just know that he was the one out there having fun and making fun of the situation. That's literally all we know. We know nothing beyond that. And he got drugged. We were saying, well, not us, because I think all of us on this panel kind of felt it was false, but everyone was saying that he would have to repair his relationship with Donovan Mitchell. We kind of figured they hadn't even talked yet. They said, will he do better? And then Chris showed that meme the other day, and he was just eyes front, hands on his lap, not moving. I'm not entertaining. The man literally has post-traumatic stress syndrome because how we dragged him on touching the mic. So, no, I think he definitely should have brought this up, because we continue to bring it up, and he has an excellent point, and I supported him on it from day one.
Yeah, I guess for me, the whole microphone touching incident, I haven't thought about that maybe since April. And then now that I've read this again, I'm like, oh yeah, he did do that. That was a bad look. But this wraps up Need to Know News. So Chris, can you take us into the post-up?
Yes, I can. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for Post-Up with your boy Chris, Quarantine Edition. And we're starting off with, I really like this one. This one warms my heart, and it's really cool. But we talk about PJ Tucker a lot. And no, I'm not talking about him playing the center for the Houston Rockets. We're not talking about that for today. We will talk about it after the Rockets play, and we see that doesn't work yet again. But we're talking about PJ Tucker's very, 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 very big sneaker collection, to the point where he even has 100+ sneakers with him in the bubble right now. But he decided to show off a pair of sneakers that he has that I can I can completely 100% guarantee no one else has. These are special edition sneakers that PJ Tucker is out here showing off for his IG followers, and it is the sneakers that were created by his own kids, and it's actually really cool. So check out this video.
Creative, obviously. She puts so much thought into hers.
Look at that. That's fire.
Rockets, ball, buckets, but the bubbles for Zoe. My daughter Zoe loves bubbles.
It's so cute.
Left foot
right, it's good. It's really good
That's
too.
The first TikTok we did together. She know my double off.
It kind of looks
Raleigh.
Like
and I call her
Tyrese
sneaker
shoes.
butt.
You know his shoes are always super colorful.
Yeah, right. The colorway.
His name,
and this,
the crown,
my
of
man.
course.
Yes, go ahead, King.
I don't know who that is. I don't know.
You don't know who that is.
Fat cats. That's
Right,
what I call
man.
them.
Fat
Fat cats. Wet water. Okay. 17. PJ Tucker.
Water.
PJ Tucker. Yeah, I don't know what my boy. I think that's me and him right there.
Okay, the little girl wins.
Yeah, but she's older. She gets a head start. She's older, obviously, with what she did. I would say in this instance, I would be like, unfortunately, it's not on basketball shoes, so he can't wear them out. But at the same time, there's the same man that has wore a lot of lifestyle shoes in game, no problem, and played the entire game with them. So it's not out of the cards that PJ Tucker wears these out on the court. I think that'd be dope. That'd be really cool to see. But regardless, look, man, those are really cool, and it's a really dope moment for them. But we got Jack out here saying that, little girl won, but she had a head start. Okay, little man tried his best. Okay, we saw those characters. Okay, you saw the water. All right, he did a good job. Let him live. Go ahead, King. Moving on to Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And Jordan need to take some notes, man. Anyways, moving on to this next one, coming from another kid in his own right, Taco Fall. Now we talked about him, trying to do the pat his head, rubbing his belly, and whatnot. Well, Taco is a man full of skills, and this is another skill. Well, according to Nes Cantor, I don't necessarily believe it because when I saw the video, it didn't look like it was a good swing. But what do I know? But here's Taco Fall playing some golf. If we get the video up, I know we can't have audio. But look, you see where that ball went? Did anybody catch that ball? Okay, but look, I just want you to see Nes Cantor. He's so proud of him. He says Taco can golf. All this. Stop egging him on. No, it was not good. Look at the ball. That thing went directly left. It didn't go up and over. That thing went right. Excuse me. That went. Goodness gracious, Chris, learn your direction. I said directly left. That thing went directly right into the damn river or lake or whatever you want to call that. That did not look good. But Enes Kanter, I gotta say, even though I give him a lot of crap, Enes Kanter being the best teammate that he can be, egging on his boy Taco, calling him Taco Woods and whatnot. This is a whole TikTok. He was reacting to it, and it's funny. But look, man, I just appreciate Taco just coming out here, and he is living his best life, picking up all the skills he can. I respect that. Learning how to, hopefully he's still working on his patting and rubbing on his belly. Hopefully he's got that down by now. But yeah, Taco out here trying everything, and I'm a fan of that. It's just always fun to see him trying to do things that we doing with his big self and whatnot. It's just funny. Next, Josh Hart was caught, and this time he wasn't caught not getting the high five. He was caught, and the thing is, this wouldn't be a big deal if he just didn't look so suspicious. Okay, now he was out there hanging out with his boys. They went out to the pool, but Nikhil Alexander Walker, his rookie, was just walking up on him, and just look at how suspicious Josh Hart is when he got caught eating the glizzy. Look at
my God, we just enjoyed a great cold tub session. My man got a 9-inch glizzy. Oh my gosh! What in the world?
At least he embraced it. But my man, it's just he looks so good. It's one thing if he was laying back, sitting back, comfortable, eating. That he's all hunched over. He got it over like, okay, nobody can see me. All right, they all getting their food over there. All right, cool. Let me just. And then here comes Nikhil Alexander snitching on him like, oh well, look what we found here. We having a good time. But yeah,
this reminds me of Russell Westbrook when he was on the end of the bench eating
at the end of the bench. Yeah. That's still one of my favorite gifs right now to use. I love that. That's so funny. And he had the nerve to dance after it too. Yeah, Russell Westbrook is hilarious with that one. That was funny. Right. But Josh Hart, man, he just looks so suspicious. That's my big problem with the whole thing, looking hella suspicious. So we got some Laker fans on the panel right now. And I'm very curious to see what you guys thought about this because Laker Nation was going insane when the Lakers Twitter account put these two pictures side by side. We do know that there he is. Anthony Davis suffered an eye injury last week during the scrimmage, and it was possible that he might not be playing in today's game still. Not 100% sure yet if he will be in or not, but the point of the matter is he's practicing again though, and he practiced with goggles on, and you're seeing this picture right here, and a lot of Laker fans are like, oh, that looks like somebody. Why does that look so familiar? Well, the Lakers Twitter account did not waste any time. They put the side by side. If you were trying to guess it, it was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Now, normally I'd be like, oh, it's just the goggles, whatever, but he did have the hair right, they're both centers, they're both big. When I'm gonna give it to him. I think it is real close. Now, adding pressure to him. Now, I don't know if y'all want to keep doing that, but Anthony Davis, like we've talked about, I think Devin was just talking about it in one of her stand-ups the other day. Anthony Davis has not been the healthiest of players. Luckily, he had a good season this year, but now the playoffs are upon you. Hopefully, he stays healthy in this drive. But I gotta come to you real quick, Jackie Ray. Now, obviously, the resemblance is there, 100%. I'll give it to you. It looks side by side, but the thing is, with Laker Nation, when you comparing one Laker to another Laker, that there's a lot of pressure when it comes to that. Do you feel like this is some kind of pressure that Anthony Davis is going to carry on him throughout these playoffs, or I'm tripping? It ain't a big deal. Move on.
I think you tripping. It's not a big deal, but I don't. But I think Anthony Davis will probably appreciate it. It's a compliment, no doubt. So, and they said he looked like him, and it definitely the goggles made it. But I think it's a good thing to put that label on him. I think it's going to work to our benefit. It's not going to be pressure.
But the minute that came out, then there was Scoop. If you guys know Scoop Robinson, the first tweet he put out was him and LeBron James And then right underneath, Magic Johnson and Kareem. So it's once those two side by sides, that was just a simple resemblance comparison turned into the, oh man, this is the next Magic and Kareem. Oh my gosh.
Why you sound like Bill Cosby, first of all? That's number one. Number two.
Oh my
Number two, LeBron started this. LeBron was the first one to say, as soon as he put the goggles on, he was the first one to say, you look like Kareem. So everybody's just kind of riding on LeBron's coat.
See, I didn't know that. Okay.
We'll be fine.
Okay. All right. Just trying to, get the edge I can to the Clippers because I am rooting for the Clippers tonight. Anyway, moving on.
No. Mute his mic, Leo.
Moving on. We got. Oh my God. I don't even want to do this one. Oh gosh.
Oh, but you want to root for the Clippers. You don't want to do this.
Look, I am a fan of a good dad joke. I do. We've seen Giannis drop a few. We've talked about a few on this, but Michael Thomas. Thinking about the Saints. I saw his ranking. I was excited about it. Michael Thompson, Clay's daddy, ex-Laker. You know who he is. He dropped a pretty. Oh my gosh, it was whack. I'm not a fan of it. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know how you guys react to it. But let me recite Michael Thompson's dad bubble joke for you guys here. If we can get the tweet up, please, Leo. So Michael Thompson dropped this on Twitter yesterday. He said, so if you're one of the people inside the NBA bubble and you take a bath, is it a bubble bath?
That is great. That was great. I love that. Chris, that was funny. It's a bubble bath. Get it?
That is former Laker there, you guys.
So cheesy.
I like it.
It's so cheesy. So cheesy. And I'm fine with cheesy jokes. That one was just too much for me, man. I can see him there smiling the whole time.
That was a good one.
That's funny. I don't care what you say. That was funny. I'm going to tell that joke tomorrow.
Well, you get a 3 out of 4 here on the Fumble, Mike. I can't give it to you. You were great at what you do with the commentator. You're great at what you do with basketball, but this one, I ain't gonna let you have it. I can't. So we were talking about the WNBA earlier on. I know the game that I was definitely watching was Game 2 of the Liberty. I was watching Sabrina Ionesco go out there and do her thing. Unfortunately, she was the only one that was doing her thing because they did take a pretty bad loss to the Dallas Wings last night. But it was still a remarkable game by her. She was out there just like, she's a rookie, but she was looking like she'd been in the league for a long time. I mean, we've shown her in Oregon and all the craziness that she did there. Well, she is not skipping a beat, even though she had a slower start in her debut game. She came out in Game 2 and she went out and she had a great game. And I even tweeted on it. I was like, yo, this is amazing. Like, I don't even think any of my current players on my team could do some of the moves that she's doing on the Knicks compared to what she's doing on the Liberty. I roasted my own team on this. But Steph Curry was also very, very impressed watching this game, and so impressed that he really was short with words and did not know what else to really say besides sheesh. Because last night she dropped a cool 33-7, and it was in a loss, but it was not at her fault because she tried to get everybody going. Unfortunately, they weren't going. But again, the Liberty is a young team, so it's to be expected. At least they have a lot of bright spots coming. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to watch them play. So, but in the same breath, just seeing her out there, how you say it? I would say she's a woman among girls. Is that how you would say that? Because she looked like she was on a completely different level compared to everybody else on the team. But it was really impressive to watch.
I got a question for you on that.
Please hit me with the question.
Do you think Sabrina is going to be not only Rookie of the Year, but a WNBA MVP of the Year?
Good question.
See, I don't think she's gonna get MVP because I don't think Liberty they're gonna do well. I think that's what's gonna hurt her. I think she definitely could be in that conversation if Liberty will go. But like I said, Liberty's super young. They got 3 rookies in their starting lineup, and I don't know. I would love to see it, but she's definitely got Rookie of the Year in the bag. Like, that's not even close. That's not even a question. Sure. That's in the bag. That's in the bag. That's enough for me. Post up is done here, but like I said, go Clippers before we go out. I'm not gonna let Britt sit here and down her team because I do. I was gonna ask who the jersey was, but nah, man, I ain't gonna let Brit here and trash talk her team. They gonna do just fine because I know they're gonna mute me after this. So I just want to get it out. Go Clippers! I'm out. That's it. Post up is done with me. I'm in.
I don't know if you want a Knicks fan co-signing on you. That's got to be some sort of bad mojo.
Whatever.
Win tonight, so it's fine.
Whatever.
Oh,
Whatever.
Okay, go Lakers. So Jackie, what we now gonna do?
All right, Devin, that was pimp. Go Lakers, and then go right into me. And I still hear Chris. He's not muted yet, Leo. What is happening? All right, guys, so let's get into what we now do. There's so much hateration right now. I got on yellow to represent, at least for my Lakers. And LeBron is still here with me, so don't trip. But anyway, let's get into it. So Antonio Brown, we talked about this a little while ago. He said he was retiring, but then he was like, no, just kidding. I'm not. I'm just playing. So I honestly think that he just did that to kind of get eyes back on him because, you know, he talks a lot and his stock is kind of, I don't want to say his stock is kind of dying down, but he hasn't done anything outrageous for us to really talk about him. So I think that's why he said he was retiring, just so he could get the conversation back to demand the NFL to finish the investigation, which they haven't done. But we told you about this earlier this month. I really like what he said at the end of the tweet where he's saying, hey, you know, NFL, you guys need to finish the investigation because he said, I need an update so I can talk to these teams properly. They're waiting on you, NFL. Let's get this thing moving. So to me, that is an indication that he is still in conversation with teams, that all hope is not lost for Antonio Brown because, you know, I love me some Antonio Brown. So I think maybe there's a sign on the horizon of who he might be talking to because Lamar Jackson, he also said, quote, around us, he's a great guy. He's cool, down to earth. He's passionate about the sport of football. He was working, and you can tell he's going 24/7. Prior to the workout, he lifted. We got out there throwing routes, and after that, he lifted some more. I was like, there's no quit in this guy. So we all know that Lamar Jackson and Antonio Brown have been practicing together. Lamar Jackson says he would love him to come to the Baltimore Ravens. I love that. We know that Antonio Brown is seeing a therapist. We also know that it's working because he hasn't thrown any gummy man parts at anyone in a long, long time. So I just don't think that we should pretend that holding Antonio Brown out of the league is nothing but the NFL's dislike for him. Because there's no way if the NFL had completed this investigation and found that, oh, yeah, he's in violation of every personal conduct policy we have, they would have told us that. The fact that they haven't told us anything to me is more of an indication that they're just kind of hoping that he just fades into the background versus saying, yeah, you know, you're clear and you could play if somebody wants to pick you up. So, Chris, do you think, now that we have this nice cosign, do you think that there's a chance that we will see AB back in the league anytime soon? And if we do, does this make the Ravens the front runner?
I never gave up hope. I never give up hope. I think we've been talking about it many times on the show, but yeah, no, this definitely does help the race. But I just want just sign them already. Like, what are they waiting on? I've always felt that the Ravens were the front runners for that. The one worry, Britt has mentioned many times. One worry is I don't know if Lamar Jackson gonna get him the ball as often as Russell Wilson would because you know Lamar loves him some Andrews. But that being said, though, I think he would definitely. He would definitely try to get the ball to him a lot more, knowing that he's still Antonio Brown. But all that being said, that's me thinking about the future, hoping that they already sign him. Yes, I definitely think that he is going to be in a uniform at some point in the future, and I still think it's going to be between Seattle and Baltimore. I think now that Seattle is just as close than ever after the trade that they made for Jamal Adams, they might make this move to solidify their offense too and be Super Bowl contenders. But I think that this is going to happen. I think he's going to be in the league. And I would love to see him with Lamar Jackson on the Ravens. That would be exciting.
I think my concern with him in Seattle is Seattle just seems too calm. I mean, he's still edgy. You need a little bit of an edge to kind of keep him in his the therapy's working phase. And I just think it's just a little too calm. And Russell is too a little, you know, corny.
I do prefer with Harbaugh.
Corny, but, you know, huh?
Corny. I said I do prefer with Harbaugh than with
yeah.
But yeah, of the two, yeah, I would definitely, and nothing against Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll is a great coach. I just think I would prefer him with Harbaugh because Harbaugh would still let him be himself, but also rein him in. I think that'd be the best situation for him mentally as well as being a football player. So yeah, I would still love that. But football wise, man, if you gave him to Russell Wilson, that'd be scary.
But you have to give him something to keep him calm too, because that system is going to be like, it's too quiet in here. It's too quiet. He's going to freak out.
They had Marshawn Lynch.
I was able to control Marshawn Lynch for 9 years, guys.
That's true. But Marshawn doesn't say nothing. He's like, I'm just here so I don't get fined. He don't say nothing. Marshawn's wild. Yeah, he is. I love that guy so much. All right, so let's get on to this next one, because y'all see I'm in yellow. You see I got LeBron sitting right. Can y'all see him? I don't know, but y'all see I got him right next to me. So per usual, what we not gonna do is drag King James. We not gonna do that. So let's tell the story. If you remember a few months ago, a lot of people tried to drag LeBron James because of what was happening in China. This all started when Daryl Morey tweeted, "Fight for freedom, stand with Hong Kong." And then LeBron never really commented on that. He just said that the league was going through a difficult time and maybe Morey should have waited. And he said that he thought maybe he was uneducated on the topic. But Daryl Morey's tweet caused ESPN to say, you know what, let's look into this. Let's cause an investigation. So now fast forward to today. An ESPN investigation has revealed a lot. It says that American coaches have raised concern about how their Chinese counterparts have been abusing participants in several of the NBA affiliate basketball camps. They said, one guy said that when a player didn't do something he wanted, the coach picked up a basketball and threw it as hard as he could, hit the kid in the face. Said that they are putting 8 kids in 2-people rooms and then not educating them at all. They have 6 to 8 practices a game and they don't really get time to learn. And multiple coaches very soon after the camps opened, complained about the physical abuse and the lack of schooling that these kids were getting. So keep in mind, the NBA academies are operated entirely by the Chinese government. So this is the NBA literally kind of partnering with the Chinese government. So the NBA Deputy Commissioner-in-Chief Officer Mark Tatum, who oversees that whole international operation, said, "We are somewhat humbled. One of the lessons that we've learned here is that we do need to have more direct oversight and the ability to make staffing changes when appropriate." I do think that's a little kind of a cop-out, because it's not a strong enough statement when we hear everything that's going on with China, not only with what they're doing with the players, but also with the practically genocide that they're doing against their Muslim citizens. So I don't think that saying, oh, we need to have staffing changes is enough. I think you should say, hey, we need to pull out completely from China. We made a mistake. This ain't where we're supposed to be. We're pulling out. I think that would be a more appropriate comment. But make no mistake, whatever response needs to be made to this situation needs to come directly from the NBA and the powers that be who decided to make this China thing happen. LeBron did not seek out this merger with China. In this instance, he's literally just a player who plays in the NBA. They have this overseas relationship with China, and that's probably as far as that goes. And I have said this before, and I'm going to say it again. LeBron is a black man. China's history of mistreating black people, specifically African immigrants, is long, and it's evil and it's horrible. And I just don't know how you can ask a black man to say something about a country that's treating other black people this way. It doesn't make sense. And I know that I'm super pro-black and I'm always out there crusading, but my dad told me a long time ago, he says, you can't save everybody. And I think this is the case with LeBron. He can't save everybody. Sometimes I even get mad that every black issue that comes up, people say, oh, well, LeBron should do. No, if he never does anything else ever again, he has done enough. China is not his responsibility. China is not our responsibility, because I bet half of you didn't know anything about what was going on in China before Daryl Morey's tweet, and I bet you didn't even study on what was going on after the tweet. It's literally this ESPN situation that is educating us, because truth is, we have a ton of problems here in America, so I'm not mad at anybody who doesn't have the time or even the heart to look at the atrocities happening everywhere when we have our own atrocities here. So again, I don't think that this is LeBron James's responsibility. I do not like the dragging that he is getting. If you want to drag somebody, drag Adam Silver, because at the end of the day, mergers like this have to fall squarely on his desk. It is his responsibility. And in my opinion, keep LeBron James' name out your mouth if you're going to say something negative about him on this one. But Devin, I'm going to go to you because you are the fellow LeBron James fan. Do you think that this is his responsibility? Yes, he is an advocate for social change, but is it his responsibility to take on the social change that's happening in China?
So, I mean, I I'm totally with you when you say you can't save everybody. And I think it's easy to look at somebody like LeBron, who's built a reputation out of being charitable and philanthropic and outspoken, and you kind of expect them to have an opinion or be a crusader for every social justice movement or every issue that's going on in the world right now. And that's not possible. You can't be an advocate or vocal or fighting for every single cause. So I will admit, when I first heard about Daryl Morey's tweet, when we first covered it on the Fumble, I was surprised that LeBron wasn't speaking out more. But then hearing about it and thinking about it more, especially hearing the background that you just provided and getting a more informed scope of the situation, I can't blame him for not sitting there and like fighting and posting about that. He's already doing so much. He's already so vocal about so many things. So I don't know. I think I'm with you on this one, Jackie. So I don't know. I can't be critical of his choice.
Yeah, I mean, I could see if he was standing in complete support of China and saying, oh, China's great, then maybe we have a different situation. But that also could be a lack of education because, again, I don't think any of us knew the extent of what things were going on in China. So that's all I got for what we not going to do. And don't forget, keep LeBron James' name out your mouth. So, Chris, are you ready to get this one started with me?
I am.
Because now it's time for Brit's Takes.
Brit's Takes.
Wow, reverb and everything.
All right, guys. This is the moment you guys have all been waiting for because together we are going to chant Free Joe Kelly. So last week I told you guys about when there was an exhibition game against the Astros and the other team's pitchers were, headhunting, the Astros players, and rightfully so because the league didn't want to take control of things and handle things properly. So every pitcher on every team has basically been like, we coming for you guys the whole entire season. And I said, luckily for the Astros, it's only a 60-game season. And I told y'all to wait for the games on the 28th and 29th when the Dodgers face off against the Astros. And it did not disappoint, okay? Both games were Dodgers won both of them. Bye-bye, Astros. We won both of them. But something very crazy happened in this situation. The MLB finally stepped up and made some suspensions. Unfortunately, it was for the wrong people. So Wednesday, the MLB decided to suspend Joe Kelly, who's a pitcher for the Dodgers, for 8 games. And they also suspended our manager, Dave Roberts, for 1 game. Now, he was available to play yesterday because he actually is appealing his suspension. But until the appeal process is done, he will be able to play until that time is over. But 8 games might not seem a lot according to a normal baseball season, which is 162 games, but we're playing 60 games here. So compared to the 162 games, that would have been the equivalent of a 22-game suspension. So that is a large chunk of games to be missed out because of what quote unquote happened or whatever on Tuesday's game. To be clear, the suspension is based off of 1 loose ball that, mind you, did not hit anybody on the field. So Joe Kelly had 1 loose ball. It did not hit anybody. Obviously, it ended up clearing the benches, and both teams went after each other. This is just tension built up because of everything happening. It had nothing to do with the 1 pitch. Honestly, the Astros are very lucky because one of our other pitchers, when he was on the mound, had 10 to 12 pitches that were in the range of 100 miles per hour. 2 of them were like 99 miles per hour, and then he had another one at 98 miles per hour. And he's lucky, or the Astros are lucky that none of those pitches targeted anybody. Those were all super fastballs, 100-mile-per-hour pitches. And the Astros are lucky and should be very thankful that they weren't hit with any of those. A reporter, her name is Jen Latta, said it best. I don't think I could say it any better than this. If Joe Kelly didn't want to be suspended, he should have cheated. And that is absolutely correct because this is all the league's fault. All of this stuff happening, the suspension, the issues that all the teams have with the Astros right now could have been prevented if the MLB just actually took this serious and took the cheating serious enough to actually discipline the players. We all know it was basically a little, not even a slap on the wrist, it was a flick on the ear, because they were fined $5 million, which is the max that a team can be fined for in the MLB. And they took away first and second round picks for 2020 and 2021. But the biggest problem was all the players got immunity on it. None of them had even one suspension, no suspensions for players, and they did not vacate that trophy. Players, the team, everybody gets to keep that World Series trophy from 2018, which is absolutely disgusting, because as many players came out and said before, they've played 16, 18-year seasons, and we're lucky to even win one World Series or one NBA championship or one Super Bowl. We have guys like Tony Gonzalez who played, 17 years in the league? You can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think it's roughly 17 years in the league. Never won a Super Bowl. There's so many guys that were so great and never even got opportunities to win. It is very hard to win a championship. Obviously, in recent years, the Warriors made it look easy. Back in the day, the Bulls made it look easy. But it's very difficult to win a championship. It really is. So to have that happen during a time where, mind you, they were playing against, it was a 7-game series. It went to all 7 games. So very easily, the Dodgers could have won that had the Astros not cheated. So of course they're going to be pissed off. Of course they're going to be mad in this situation. But the whole point is Joe Kelly was not targeting the batters in this situation. It was one pitch. And mind you, we saw the exhibition games or whatever a couple days or last week where literally the Astros got hit 4 to 5 times during that game by pitchers. And literally in this situation, they didn't get hit at all. Nobody got hit. It was a loose ball. To prove my point for my guy, Joe Kelly. Joe Kelly is not the most accurate pitcher that we know of. We have proof of that. Leo, can you throw up the video that we have of, you guys remember this moment back in April when Joe Kelly was at home trying to practice his pitches and, the man busted out his own window at his house. You think he's purposely trying to hit the Astros players? No, he's been known to not be an accurate pitcher. He just busted out his own home window here. So let's not say that Joe Kelly was purposely trying to hit an Astros batter. If he was, I'm not mad at it, but I literally don't think that's what he was doing, and you're basing it off of one pitch. I could see if he was consecutively doing it back to back to back and hitting the batters back to back to back, but he wasn't. It was one pitch, and he did not even hit anybody. And yet he is suspended for 8 games, yet the team that to win a World Series title against the Dodgers go off free with no suspensions, no removal of their fee. They don't have to lose those $50,000 rings that they got. They just get to chill. And it's all because the MLB did not in the first place take this situation serious and actually vacate it. Like, the MLB, this is your guys' fault. I think it's sick that you're using Joe Kelly to make an example for the rest of the season, to tell pitchers like, oh, if you guys try to come after the Astros, you guys are getting suspended. Suspend the Astros. That's all anybody's asking for here. Like, it's stupid that all the other MLB teams have to, do it the street way and try to come at you guys themselves because you guys didn't handle business. Like, this would all have been, completely wiped out. You guys could have suspended, players if they were like targeting the Astros had you made the World Series title and had you suspended those players, but you did not do that. So at this point, I don't care if it was on purpose. I don't think it was, because I know Joe Kelly as a pitcher and he has never been very accurate. He actually had a situation back in 2016 where he got in trouble because he several times was throwing a ball and it accidentally hit a player or whatever, and it cleared the benches again that time. But he does that because he's just not that accurate. And his proof is here. Proof is in the pudding. He literally busted out his own home window. You think he wanted to do that on purpose? No. And in this situation, like I said, he never hit anybody. So MLB, please get your stuff together. This is a cry for help from all the teams. It's not even just the Dodgers. all of the other franchises have been on board to say they were going to be this way against the Astros because you guys decided not to punish them for what they did. Cheating is not okay. You guys need to put that a point out and make that the story, not Joe Kelly is suspended for 8 games for not hitting anybody, first of all, and because he's retaliating, quote unquote, against a team that cost their team the World Series championship game. Chris, I just have one quick question for you, because I can go on and talk about this forever because I'm so mad. As you guys know, I'm a Dodgers fan. I was at that World Series game or series or whatever. Did the MLB mess up here? Like, in what way do you think they messed up? Do you think they messed up in the beginning by not punishing them? Do you think they messed up with the suspension by trying to make an example of Joe Kelly?
Right. Oh my goodness, where do I begin? I don't understand, and help me here because I'm not a baseball fan. I don't watch baseball. I don't understand how this team still has their championship. I just don't get it. To me, that is the biggest crime in all this. Suspension, yeah. Sure, why not? I don't understand how they still have the championship when it is out that they cheated to get the chance. To me, it's just black and white. So that's the biggest mistake that they've made. On top of that, with this suspension with Joe Kelly, when I saw the highlight, because the way it was sounding like, I thought my man just went off and pegged him on purpose. And I saw the highlight, yeah. And I saw, no, that was definitely not the case. It wasn't even going to, I don't know.
His house.
Exactly. It's so funny because I put down my post and I forgot about that, and seeing that I'm like, yeah, it's the same guy. Yes, are you kidding me? So I don't know. The MLB, and sure, they're probably trying to make an example of them, but the thing is, the only people that needs any examples being made of them is the Astros themselves. And yes, I do agree that there needs to be suspensions, but I just don't understand how they get away. Suspensions be damned, they still have the championship, So as far as mistakes going on, I feel like there's a lot of mistakes going on, especially around just this team alone, after everything else that's going on. And the suspension is definitely another one of those. It just makes no sense. Absolutely makes no sense.
Yeah. Jackie, real quick for you. Do you think that it's too late now for the MLB to be like, okay, you guys are correct, let's take this a championship away from them in a vacant spot? Or do you think
I was just thinking that if they do anything now, it's going to look like they relented under fan pressure and and public pressure more so than they actually wanted to do the right thing. So I don't think they'll do that. I think it would be the right thing, but then I was just thinking, under the same token, if they say, okay, Joe Kelly, you're not going to be suspended anymore, they're going to say, okay, look, we know we got this wrong, so we're going to let this go. It's just, The whole thing is bad all the way around. So I think you either, like you said, address this situation and say, I think it's okay to say, hey, you know what, this punishment did not fit the crime. This is what we're going to do now. I think that's okay. But if they let Joe Kelly out of his suspension, they're saying, we know we didn't handle this right. So they kind of have to stay the course and keep him in the suspension, and just say, hey, we know they cheated, but you can't retaliate. The message all the way around is bad, So I don't know what they're going to do at this point. But I think if they really want to save face with the fans, you say, hey, y'all were right. We messed up. Cheating is not okay. This is your punishment. Yeah. But I don't think they will. Yeah. I don't think they'll do that.
It's not the fans and the Dodgers. It's like the whole entire league. Every other team in the MLB is like fighting against this together. So at this point, it's like, it's not like the Dodgers are salty about it, or the Dodger fans or whatever, just the only ones mad. If the whole entire league is coming together saying we're going to band together against the Astros and against this situation, I think that's a problem worth looking at again. That's something where they need to step back and kind of decide, okay, did we not do enough here? And which clearly you didn't, because the whole league coming together saying you didn't, Teams that have no horse in the race, are coming in and saying, because I don't want it anymore as a Dodger fan. I don't want it to then go to us. I just want it to be not to them. I want it to be a vacant spot. 2018, nobody won the World Series, and just leave it at that. It's kind of crazy. It's sad. And I feel bad because I don't think Joe Kelly purposely tried to do it. I just think he's not accurate. And this sadder thing is, if he did try to do it, well, damn it, hit the man then,
Right, get it right.
Right.
It's like getting fired on your day off. How you do that? Right. That's a Friday reference.
All right, you guys, I'm with all of you on that one. I think that the suspension is overkill, so overkill. But hey, you guys, before we wrap up, can you guys hear me or no?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Before we wrap up, as you all know, we are working with the Equal Justice Initiative, and today I want to tell you about Nathan Brown. So in the early morning hours of August 7th in 1997, a 40-year-old white woman was walking through the courtyard of her apartment building when she was attacked from behind and thrown to the ground. The assailant bit the victim's neck, ripped her dress open, and took her purse. The victim told police that she'd been attacked by a black man who was wearing black shorts and no shirt. She also said that he had very strong body odor. The victim believed her attacker lived outside of the apartment complex, but a security guard for the complex directed police to Nathan Brown, one of the few black people living in the apartment building. Nathan Brown was told to get dressed. He changed out of his pajamas into black shorts and was taken outside to the victim, who was waiting in a patrol car. He had no shirt on. The victim was asked to get out of the car to take a closer look and to smell Brown, at which point she identified him as her assailant. Although he didn't have a strong body odor but rather smelled of soap, she explained at the trial that she believed he must have taken a shower, and that meant he was her attacker. So he was convicted in less than a day. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison without the possibility of parole for the crime of attempted aggravated rape. He maintained his innocence throughout his 16 years in prison. DNA testing of a stain on the shoulder of the victim's dress where she was bitten was done, and the stain tested positive for saliva and yielded a full male DNA profile that excluded Nathan. This profile was consistent with male DNA found on 3 other areas of the dress, including the front, where the assailant said it was ripped it open, or the assailant ripped it open, excuse me. The match was a black male who was 17 years old at the time of the crime and living within blocks of the apartment complex where the victim was attacked. So getting that kind of DNA testing done is obviously so important. It helped Nathan Brown get out of prison, and that's why supporting groups like the Equal Justice Initiative is so important. We are still accepting donations, so any super chats that you want to give us, it's all going straight to EJI, and if you guys would like more information about the Equal Justice Initiative, go to eji.org. Also, one last reminder before we close, we have a special live pre-show for the NBA restart with Jackie and Chris today at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's in 2 hours, you guys. So mark it on your calendar, set an alarm, have a quick snack, and then go tune into that. We also have special post-game coverage coming up tomorrow morning, along with Best of the Bubble. So much fun stuff happening. Lots of new content coming out, so make sure you tune in to all of that. And as usual, we will be back again with our live show at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Thursday. Wait, I don't know what day it is today. Tomorrow.
It's all running together.
It's can't keep track of anything anymore. But you guys, until tomorrow or until you see Jackie and Chris at 2 p.m., wash your hands, wear a mask, and we will see you guys later. Bye, everybody.
Yes.
Go Clippers! Woo, woo!
Let's go,
Lake Show. Ooh, yeah. No, Lake Show.
Clippers,
Like
Clippers.
Joe.